Welcome back to Doubly Negative. Feels weird doing the intro. It's always Chris, but he's on vacation right now. No doubt, totally ruining his diet and attempting to gain as much weight as possible. He's on a cruise. So in Chris's place, we have Matt, my long-term friend. Yeah, known you for.
Wow, that's weird saying that, eh? Long-term friend. Fuck.
Yeah, a few years now. I guess that's long-term.
Yeah, I mean 2019, eh?
Yeah, we met in Bali, and yeah, we got on well. I don't really meet too many people that end up being real friends. Matt is one of a very small list for me, but he's a cool dude. He's a young buck. He's what are you, 27, 28?
28 now, yeah.
28, filmmaker.
I think.
Yeah, mainly you're a filmmaker, but also digital nomad, kind of going wherever you want, doing whatever you want. Does that sum you up? You want to add anything to that?
Well, that digital nomad thing definitely like includes people that go around, but it seems to be like it's like I feel like Bilbo Baggins, like where he goes on an adventure and then he just goes back home and it's like, fucking like he's in Oppression Town again. So it's a weird one. It's like, it looks like digital nomadism, which I guess I kind of am because I can work anywhere. But it's you've experienced, you kind of do the similar thing anyway, where it's like you stay in one place for a long time, but kind of living the life that people would do if they were moving around to a certain degree. So it's like a hybrid.
That's right. It's a funny term, digital nomad, and it's got such a connotation now that some people embrace it, even though many people would think, well, you're not a fucking digital nomad. You don't even make money. Some people want to be digital nomads. And then other people, maybe like me and you, is like, we don't even really like that term so much because of the connotation that even though we're obviously doing it, obviously you're a digital nomad, dude. You traveled to different places and made money while you're doing it. That's digital nomad. But
yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going back to Bilbo Baggins Town in a few days for me, back to the US, and I'm sure I'll feel the same.
Fuck. I mean, how do you feel about that, man? Like, because it's only been a year and a half since you've been there, eh?
Something like that. Yeah. I don't know. It's a mixed feeling, of course. Part of me is a little bit excited, do something new, new but old in a way. See my friends and family. That's big. But of course, part of me is not too thrilled about going to a place that I actively try to get away from.
Yeah. But we could definitely get into that because I've actually thought about that for a long time about just like, because what's been going on for me this year is like this whole year has been about like embracing responsibility so fucking hard. Like, so many things happen, which, we can get into it if you want to get into some brutal shit. But
are you talking about the most brutal shit? Are you willing to get into that? Or are we talking about something else?
Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, I talked,
Oh, damn. All right. Yeah, let's do that.
I mean, it'll be interesting, eh? But I'd say I've thought about your situation of like, because you always remind me of like that Black Mirror episode where this American guy this like wants to, he's going on all these trips around the world and he's like trying to have as many memories as possible, and then he joins up with this like Konami, Hideo Kojima, whatever sort of type character where he's making a game and he goes and he's gonna play test the game, and the episode's called Playtest, I think.
I remember that one.
Yeah, he was like, when I first met you, especially, that reminded me of that guy trying to get as many memories as possible because his dad starts getting Alzheimer's.
Huh. I don't think you ever told me that. That's interesting. It's an interesting comparison.
Right. And it's just like it was like a desperate attempt. Not saying that you had a desperate attempt, but definitely trying to escape something, right? And I was too. But this year feels like the first time where I've finally fully embraced, really, like there's nothing I can think about where I just want to run away from it, but more like go towards it and fight it and attack it. And it seems like most of my problems disappeared now. Anyway, which is crazy. So, and I didn't run away from any of it. So that's good news.
What are you talking about exactly? What problems do you think you ran away from in the first place that now you're not having?
So, there's the old, oh, fuck, my life is bullshit. How about I just move country and it'll fix it?
Yep, done that.
Which is like, all right, how many times do you need to do that before you realize that's not going to work anymore? And you just drag the old cliche with you, which
wherever
is
you
away from your
are.
problems, yeah.
Yeah. Wherever you go, there you are. Right.
Wherever you go, there you are. But
Yep.
yeah, no, I stopped that, and had past relationship stuff, right? One reason why I went back to goddamn Bali anyway. And then it definitely came back like when we're getting to like February time. Was it January? I think it was January, February. That it started dragging me back in this year. I was like, I need to go back to Bali because it's like part of the fucking routine. And even started, talking to that one girl as well.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
you're right. And then I stopped that because I was like, no, I need to break this. I need to stop this. So,
how long have you been home now?
What since Bali?
Yeah.
It's been exactly a year and like 3 days now.
Yeah, man, it doesn't feel like that long. That's crazy. Because you said January, and I was like, you weren't here in January or in Bali?
No,
damn.
October, eh? Fucking hell.
Wow.
Yeah. So now it's like this year I've been here. Okay, I don't go to back Bali. What do I do? Oh man, this money. What am I doing? Am I really doing anything? Do I even want to be here? Am I like fucking up money because I don't want to be here and I'm not motivated because I'm here? I need to go somewhere else and I'll make more money somewhere else.
Why did you go back in the first place?
Well, do you mean the Bali?
No. Why did you, return to the source or wherever this? I mean, you're in Tenerife now. That's not home exactly, but I guess it kind of is.
Well, it's where most of my family are.
Well, let's just say you were out on this adventure, and before you had this idea that I'm going to run away from my shitty life, I'm going to go on the adventure. So then you change gears and you said, okay, I'm gonna quit the adventure. I'm going to take care of myself. Why did you decide to do that? Why did you come back from the adventure?
Because procrastination station was destroying my heart, my brain, and my sleep. When it comes to like getting fucking anxiety attacks kicking in, because I just know I wasn't like doing what I should be doing, Where again, it's kind of like the same thing of if you have a problem, move away and see if that'll fix it. So that was like the reverse.
Mm-hmm. I've done that same exact thing. Yeah.
It didn't fix that either.
Yeah. So, all right. So just to kind of, because me and you talk about this type of stuff all the time, but to kind of explain it, Bali is the type of place that you and I have described as like very easy to live. You don't have to try very hard. You kind of get the rewards of the good life, even if you don't put in the work that you feel like you should be. And then I think what you're describing, the problem is you weren't feeling fulfilled because you weren't putting in the work that you thought you felt you should. Is that fair to say?
Well, yeah. Also, I felt like I couldn't do the work I needed to do. Like I felt like it wasn't possible to do it there. So I'm just in like a holding pattern.
Why wasn't it possible?
That's why. This me.
Why though?
You know what I mean?
No.
Well, because you make excuses, and then these are the reasons why I can't do this. So, one thing was just the overall government. Me thinking I can't do it because I need to get this specific visa thing, and it's going to be such a massive jump to go from this and this because a lot of people work illegally in Bali and places like that, and it's just like fuck. But they're already changing it anyway. They've already been, even in Spain, they're like getting this 5-year digital nomad visa thing, right? So it seems to be like Everyone's already doing it. The governments around the world thinking we want to make money off
So
this.
you were actually worried about the legality of making money while living abroad?
Yeah. So I didn't want to just edit. I wanted to like start making the big films, like what I'm
Right.
doing now. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I was like, I can't do this by my fucking self when I already have a whole team, a whole family that are already doing this.
See, that's what needed to be
somewhere else.
explained. Yeah, we needed to explain that. Your family is kind of a unit creating films together, and part of you felt like you had to reconnect with that unit, join that unit again, right?
Yeah, before it's too late.
Yeah.
Before they're too old.
And now, do you think that you've done that? That's what you're doing now. Do you think that contributed to solving your problems?
Well, yeah, I think so. Well, like, you know, I even had the thing of I come back and we started to do stuff. You know, we went to Miami, you know, and started doing film in there for like 3 weeks. And you know, for like a quarter of it, I was like, oh man, was this a mistake? You know, I don't feel free. I don't like, you know, you have like the quirks of your family and, you know, trying to work that together, and you're thinking, is this, you know, is this what I really wanted, or did I just need to push to see how I could even do it? And anyway, got past that. You know, we just come back from Dubai, and you know, it was like 95% massive success. There wasn't really anything. There wasn't really any arguments or anything, and we did it. And we got up and we did all the work, you know. And I'm happy about that. And we've been all working as a team, and so, you know, we're talking like we're in October here. You know, I'm talking from January until October to get to this point, to push through, to get through all the bullshit, you know. And now we've made something I think is pretty damn good, you know, and working on stuff and making the big films, trying to get the big money, making the big connections, talking to people, interviewing people that are like, you know, fucking millionaires that have massive influence. How the fuck did we get there? Could I do that if I was still in Bali? Obviously, yes, but not if I think I'm fucking, I can't do it, you know, because I'm wasting time, you know.
And you're talking about the Seifu documentary that you've been working on for this year.
Well, not just the so Seifu was the you know, the flagship of why we're going to some of these places. The Miami thing was solely us, Crypto Gold Rush, you know.
Oh, right, Crypto Gold Rush, yeah.
And now I talked about this new film, which I managed to get some interviews for. Yeah. And I come up with the best title yesterday. I think I'm gonna call it "What's the End Game?"
What's the
that's
end game?
Yes.
Okay.
And because that's what it seems to be. All these governments around the world doing all this shit, and you think, what is the end game of this?
Oh, did you drop the other idea?
No, it's the same idea.
It's the same idea. Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about it. Yeah, give us a summary or description.
Well, amongst the Bali film, which I've still yet to finish the goddamn subtitles. I got a new documentary about how pretty much I thought it was just Britain, but I realized it's like you get all of Europe in general, because if I include America and Australia, it doesn't work because people look at America and be like, no, they're not the original people and they just took over and they deserve nothing, right? But in Europe, at least Europeans come from Europe, right?
Sure.
So there's that. There's okay. If there was a land that white people lived, right? Imagine if we all had to move out all the places that were colonized, then it would be Europe, right? Wrong. Okay. Because Europe is now being colonized by third world crazy motherfuckers that are all so many illegal immigrants coming here. It's absolutely insane. I saw that only 15% of illegal immigrants in France get deported. 15. They just get left in there and they just get like, you know, and they go into these fucking crazy poverty-ridden places. Anyway, so I'm looking at this. I'm looking at Europe. I'm like, okay, it's kind of like, you know, the final frontier of where white people come from, right? But even then, you can't really talk about that you want to keep your own culture because that's racist. Oh, but not if you're Chinese. If you're Chinese, you can talk about that. You can talk about how you're patriotic, you love China. Oh, if you're from Africa, yo, what's up, dude in the background? But if you're from Africa, proud. If you're American, you can be proud. But obviously, it's starting to kick in. It's starting to, it's to be patriotic is right wing or alt right, or you're a fucking, what do you call it? What's that flag that you have when you had the Civil War? Sorry, I forgot.
Oh,
The
Confederate?
yeah, the Confederate,
Yeah, yeah.
or like you're just a Confederate flag loving motherfucking redneck who just, lives the old ways.
Right. So
But
let me try to say what I think you've said so far. You're saying, so we're white men, you and I,
yeah,
and to be proud of our culture, our identity, is seen as kind of a negative, aggressive thing, whereas people of other genders, other cultures, it's celebrated for them to be proud of their identity. Is that what you're getting at?
yeah, absolutely. And for us, living, breathing in Asian country, right? For them to be proud and um for them to get the highest position of authority. That's their role. That's what they have. When I just come back from Dubai, who's at the top? Emirati people. Wow, what a surprise. And how are they doing? They getting fucking tons of money. And how is the crime? Pretty good. How is everything running? Pretty damn well, because they've made it top down. But for us, it's not top down. It's fucked.
What do you mean?
Are we a priority in our own country? I don't think so. Not anymore. Not anymore.
It's tough to say. I mean, so you're talking about who's in power, right? And you're saying in Dubai, it's the Emirati people. Are you saying in Europe, it's not the European people in power anymore?
No.
Really?
No. Like, it's clearly not when fucking all this social media, legacy media, is all left wing. Let's embrace all this random ass shit that destabilizes the country. So, you know, if you want to control your borders, and if people say that's deemed wrong, right, and you need to just let people in because oh, you're so selfish with your own land. Okay, oh, you can't be patriotic because that's racist and bigoted. Who's really the if you said you want to keep your culture running, and if people said in your own fucking government that's wrong, and they're actively trying to destabilize the fucking countries because they want the poor, they want the illegals to vote for them, which is the left side, which is Labour. In the UK we call it Labour Party, and we have the Conservative Party, and Labour always want to get the poor vote because they'll always provide some free shit, and they want immigration to come in so they get more power. A bit like the Democrats in America, where they want to get the black vote. Because they think that there's
I
poor
didn't know this
blacks.
was going on. It's what you're saying sounds so similar.
Yeah, man, it's the
So
same, man.
I didn't realize that was going on in Europe.
Absolutely.
Huh. And it's the same
So
perception too, because in America, the idea of deport the immigrants or whatever is seen as extremely right wing, and people get mad at you for saying that. I don't really have any feelings one way or the other. I don't really understand the arguments, but if you say that, you're kind of a bad person. In general, if you post that on social media, you're going to get a lot of hate, and you're saying it's
yeah,
pretty much the same in Europe.
dude, fuck, man, it's some of the safest places in Europe, like especially Sweden, have become the most dangerous parts. When you take away Ukraine, what's happening right now? Sweden is apparently one of the most dangerous fucking crime-ridden places in Europe.
Really?
Because of all the and when you look at the demographic of people that cause the crime, okay. I also saw that in France, I think it was like 4% of the illegals are causing half of the crime.
Damn.
Of all crime. You know? And it's not petty crime either. It's like absolute murders, you know. And what we gonna do about it, you know? What we gonna do about it? Just ignore it because it's racist to talk about it, you know. And
what do you think should be done about it?
Country. Deport the fucking illegals. Like, you know, if we were to go to fucking back to Indonesia, right?
Yeah.
And we just overstayed the visa, and we demanded that it's our right to stay here. That's insane. It's not going to happen.
Is that what these people are doing?
Dude, the immigration found some people that were overstayed the visa, didn't even deport them. And then a few days later, they killed this 13-year-old girl. Some news story happened right now. Yeah, it's pretty
Which country was this in?
You know, France.
So you're saying some immigrant? Well, I don't know if they're immigrants or not, but they came to France on a visa of some sort. They stayed longer than they should have, because visas, for people that don't know, they give you a limited amount of time. Like Indonesia, you go and you might get 30, 60, 90 days. And then after that, you have to stay legally, you have to do things. And you're saying these people didn't do that when they were in France. The authorities found them and they didn't take any action?
It was an Algerian lady who was on a student visa for 30 days. I don't know why it's 30 days. No, it wasn't 30 days. I think she overstayed for 30 days.
Okay.
They found her. They didn't deport her. And they just let her go.
What?
And a few days later, I know. Because it costs money. It costs money to deport people. Also, they don't want to be seen as bad people, so they don't do it.
So the idea was, okay, you did the wrong thing, but you win. You can just stay here as long as you want. Like, what?
Yep. That's what I'm saying. So they only deport.
And then 15%. She killed someone?
Yeah, this girl and chopped her up and put in her little suitcase.
Wow.
Yeah, and now she's in prison. But you know, the thing is, the main reason why, you know, especially illegal immigrants cause a lot of crime is because they don't give a fuck about the country that they've moved to. And also, they're not part of the system. Why would they care about whatever country they've gone to? If we, you know, you get the classic, like, you know, tourists that go around to party islands, right? They go to some place, they fucking do all sorts of crazy illegal shit and don't give a fuck, right? And then it's like, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm just going to go back home, eh? Because you have no stake. You have no stake in.
I think that comparison is so helpful with this topic because, like we already kind of acknowledged, it is a sensitive topic. And as soon as you talk about deporting illegal immigrants, I'm sure a lot of people listening to this are going to be like, whoa. But I love that you started with the comparison of me and you go to Indonesia. We overstay. They're not going to look at that kindly. They're going to kick us out. They're going to fine us. They might put us in jail. Yeah, actually, that happens very often. People get put in jail for overstaying their visa. And you're saying that that's not happening the other way. In the countries that we are from, a different thing is happening. And that's striking a chord with you. That's you think something needs to be understood or explained there.
Well, yeah. Well, it's because the only way that it's happening, the only reason why this is being let on is because the government are promoting it. That's what's going on. Because they want, as I say, they want to destabilize the fucking, just like COVID, right? COVID, they wanted to destabilize the world and get themselves into a different position, which is an end game. You know, it's they're moving pieces around to try and get themselves into a better position for when stuff goes down, like legislation. You know, you're like. As soon as COVID hits, now new legislation comes in. Now you need these passports, all this random bullshit. It makes money. It helps control the world. I think that's what's going on. I think it's just a form of control, and it's hard to control a country when it's so united, like China and Russia and stuff like that. They're a bit more homogenous, right? And obviously, China controls their fucking land very well. And the funny thing is, if you want to see the opposite sort of demographic in Dubai, like 90% of Dubai are expats. So, yeah, Emirati people are only 10%, but they control everything because they've been so fucking stricken hard with it, and any consequences that people face are fucking hard ones. So they're scared. Anyone's scared to cause any real crime. But in Europe right now, if you were to cause a crime like shoplift, no one can do anything about it. They're not allowed to do anything, right? They're not allowed to fucking track you down. I've even seen it in America. Fucking guy in San Francisco that's in a shop just goes and steals some shit off the shelf, and everyone's just like live in front of me. Can't believe it. Oh, it's not my shop. I'm not gonna fucking go in a fight. It's not my shop.
So what is the main difference then? Why is the group of people that you're saying is trying to destabilize things? Does Dubai not have a group of people like that, or they're just not allowed to gain power, or what's the difference?
No. Anyone that's I'm pretty sure that anyone that's not Emirati, they do not get into positions of power the same way that diversity quotas get into position of power in the West. It's just not allowed. Like obviously in Indonesia, like, you know, you can have a job there if your job cannot be filled by a everyday man on the street Indonesian, right? But if you were to try and integrate like Indonesians are, they restrict that. They don't want that because they want to keep it separate. You know, they want to keep Indonesians separate from Westerners or anyone that's not Indonesian, right? Through legislation, but not in the Western countries. That's completely. They're trying to make it completely fair. And also, you can be born in America, and now you can become American, but you cannot do that in Dubai. You cannot do that in Indonesia, and you cannot do that in many other countries.
Now, I think a lot of people might say that that's a sign of progress, that the Western countries are allowing people in to be equal. But you think that progress comes at a price, or that it's not progress?
It just depends. No. It depends. It was working pretty well in Britain. Obviously, Britain's had multicultural stuff for a long time, right? And, you know, were they seen as equal in terms of the law? Yeah. And did they integrate? Yeah, they did. But when you have mass immigration that they don't integrate, they don't give a fuck, they try to create different rules from you. They get rid of religion. They get rid of Christianity altogether, which I'm not saying that I'm for religion in a sense, but more like if you were for it, now you're not allowed to celebrate it because that's racist now, right? That's what's fucking.
I get what you're saying. It's a very, very controversial thing, and it's exciting, man. That's you got a lot of balls. The things you make, I consider myself not your average square person that's offended by things. But sometimes when you first start talking about the things that you're doing, I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe he's doing that.
But dude, as soon as you think about it for like 0.2 seconds of the double standard, if you were just to role reversal the thing, you'd be like, holy fuck, yeah, actually. So if you took all the stuff that's happening in Europe right now, America, Australia, let's think, I don't know where else. Mainly those places, right? You take those, because if you think about the stuff in South America, right, and Africa and stuff like, fuck, what the fuck is diversity? What is that? No one gives a fuck about that. So,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, it matters in places where it matters, and where it doesn't, it does not. It just does not matter.
You go to these places and you think, holy fuck, this is like I'm stuck back in time. You know, it's like back in time, and then you go on Twitter, or you go on the BBC News, or you know, NBC or whatever, and you're just like, was it CNBC? I don't know. What's the worst left liberal.
I don't know, man.
It starts with a C, man.
It
Like,
probably
I
is
forgot.
CNN.
CNN, yes, that's
Yeah.
the one. That's the one. And you look at that and you're like, holy fuck. Like, if you step away for like, a few days and you go back on, you look like, holy fuck, non-stop about. Like, I look on the BBC News and all it was advertising was women of history, non-stop about get women in power, blah, blah, blah. And then Black History Month, but it's always Black History Month. And it's like non-stop barrage of all this stuff that isn't got to do with anything that's ever been, right? And you just think like, if this makes you think like, oh yeah, fuck, yeah, women haven't been important ever. Oh yeah, there's not enough black people on TV. Fuck, even though UK is like 90% white or whatever. All you see is something that isn't your culture, isn't native to your thing. So, if you were to fight for that, I've even had arguments with people live in person when you're supposed to have a nice, friendly time, and all of a sudden they're saying, "Yeah, your culture, Britain, what is that? It doesn't really exist, though, does it? And it shouldn't really exist." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then he's like, "What do you think is a British thing?" I say, "This." He's like, "No, it's not." Like, okay, let's just erase all of it. Let's just get rid of it and let the whining take over and let people just take over the country completely, and we'll just fucking go into oblivion. How
I guess
about
that is what happens if every country were to go the same way as the Western countries. All culture would eventually be, if not erased, completely diluted, because
Yeah,
that's the same in America too. If you try to describe American culture, you can say, oh well, NASCAR, hamburgers, but even hamburgers are like not from America. It's become very watered down and confusing. Whereas I don't know, like I'm in Thailand now, and I was just thinking about this when you're speaking. A lot of Thai people, even in positions that should be helping us, as like let's say the doorman downstairs or the cashier at the store, they should be customer facing, helpful people, but they see me and they just like, they don't want to deal with me, and they think
really.
Tika's Thai, so they'll talk to her in Thai, and then when she can't understand them, they realize she's not Thai, and then they kind of say fuck off to her too. But the thing is, I don't begrudge it, really. Like, it's not
Ah,
nice, but I accept it because I'm in a different country. This is not my home. They can do what they want. It's not something that I feel the need to change. But then when we're talking about our own countries, to say anything like that, like for example, if yeah, that's see that even to talk about people born in America, well, I guess that's the difference now, because the immigrants come in and then they have kids. Man, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. It's very confusing.
yeah. Are you American or not? Like, all you need to do is just be there and speak English really good, and then you can be American pretty much.
Yeah, but
That's the level.
you can't
No,
do that in other countries. Is that a good
no,
or
you
bad
can't.
thing? Hmm.
You can never be Japanese. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, you're never going to be Japanese.
you know. But that's the thing. Like, my goal isn't to try and change these other countries that have it running this way. That's not the goal. The goal isn't even also to obviously, like, to even talk about it could be criticism in a way, unless you're like a fucking textbook.
Yeah.
But the goal is, if they're doing it and everyone around the world will say, especially in Bali, I'll respect their culture, right? Okay. If you were to say to other people, respect your culture, it doesn't work like that. And it can't, because it goes against the whole thing. It goes against the whole diversity thing. And you can't have diversity in ideas without disrespecting someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, with comedy, like, there's no way to be funny without something taking the brunt, even if it's one bit at a time, right? There's something that's going to be fun. People laugh at people falling over and hurting themselves. Obviously, do we want people to hurt themselves? No, but it's fucking funny. So if we want to say, okay, You got the Thai people being, it could be rude, right? If you were to say, fuck, they should treat me the same as Thai people. Why?
Yeah, why?
Why should they?
Yeah.
And if you accept it, and if people around the world, especially the woke idiots that don't know anything, they'll just be like, respect them. Respect their ways. Well, why don't they respect our ways then? No, they don't, because they hate themselves. That's the difference. I don't think Thai people hate themselves.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Right?
Yeah.
Do they hate themselves? I don't think so.
No, they're very proud. But to go back to your original idea, to be proud of what we are, it's difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah, because they'll say, "Oh, happened." Yeah, going around the world, especially the British Empire, and it's like, okay, if there are bad things, is it all bad? No, actually, there's many good things, and the British Empire was the first one to stop slavery. No one really thinks about that. They were the first ones.
I didn't know it.
Legally stop it. You know what I mean? But they'd be like, no. Oh, what about India? You fucked India up. Oh, and Africa, and so, if you were to be proud to be British, if you were proud to be American, then people just automatically assume that you're proud to be a colonialist.
Yeah, that you've got a swastika on your back or your arm or something, and
right.
Yeah.
So, but how far back do you go? The Mongol Empire, Ottoman Empire, fuck me, Chinese dynasty, right? But they're proud. And when I spoke to folk from Dubai, from the Emirates, their response, they said, "We don't give an F." That's what they said. If anyone has criticism, we don't give a fuck, basically.
Man, it's interesting. We are at a turning point in our cultures, and I see what you're talking about, and I'm definitely interested in seeing your perspective more in that one. We are running out of time here.
Well, I can say the title of the film again.
Yes, please. What's the title of the film?
So, as decided, I wanted something that people could easily say and remember it, but also not get fucking cancelled at the same time. So I think now it's called "What's the End Game?"
What's the end game? And that is a question that can be asked in so many ways and so many contexts right now. Well, thank you for coming on. We got to do a part 2 because there's a lot we didn't get into, but I got to cut it for now. So thank you very much for coming on, Matt.